Hello. Welcome to my kitchen again. I'm going to be sharing again with you a lovely recipe. So, this week we are talking about summer recipes. Summer is not yet here, but we want to prepare you as best as we can and show you some really easy, simple but effective recipes. So that's where we're at. We're always trying to give you guys simple but effective. So as many of you know, because you've been here before, we will be looking at, I will be looking at your comments. So let me just make sure that I can see our live here and I can see who is in the room. Please do say hello and let us know where you're from as well. That's always really nice to know. Sometimes we have people in the live who are actually from the same place, which is really lovely. Then you guys can get to know each other a bit. So let me see if I can find myself. Where am I? There we go. There I am. Okay, so we are live, as I said. So this recipe is really simple. Very green. We all know that greens are good for us, but we don't necessarily know how to get a lot of them in our diet. So this recipe is for anybody who wants to get some lovely nutrient-rich greens into their diet. Okay, so Colleen, good morning. Colleen says that she has no idea who is that under the rainbow, so someone else please guess. So we always have a rainbow in our kitchens, which you guys have to find, but you guys are too good at finding the rainbow, so I decided to take it up a notch, and instead on every show we have something at the end of our rainbow. So today might be a tricky one. There is a link, not a direct link, more of an indirect link with the actual recipe today. So you guys can start thinking about that. If you haven't guessed by the end of the show, I will. I'll give you some more clues. I will give you some more clues because it might be a little bit difficult today. I have my ginger water on the go, so please excuse me while I take a sip. Lara, thank you for coming back to us. Anne, lovely to see you again. Antony, lovely to see you too. Antony! Oh my gosh, you guessed it! You guessed it, well done. Okay, so underneath our rainbow today is Manuel from Fawlty Towers, and the link is basil. That is the link. So when I was deciding what to go underneath the rainbow today, just this memory from my childhood came floating back to me of Manuel from Fawlty Towers, because we have basil in our recipe. So that is who is at the end of our rainbow today. And I know that some of you guys might not be from the UK. We get a lot of people coming to the show from the States. So if that is you, then you might know it anyway, because I think it's gone to like different countries and stuff like that. Welcome Jeff, lovely to see you here, and Sarah, thank you for coming back. Okay, so Colleen is saying well done to Antony for being such a good guesser as to who is at the end of our rainbow. Sonia, yes, it is funny and silly, and that is what we aim to do, at least in part, but also teach you a recipe. So before we get on to the recipe, I just need to let you guys know something very special and important, which is that tomorrow evening at 6 PM UK time, I will be doing a live recipe, but not on Facebook, and not on one of our accounts. We'll actually be on the Vegan Society's Instagram page. So I'll be doing a live recipe on, it's the UK Vegan Society, by the way, because there's lots of different vegan societies everywhere around the world. I'll be doing one on the Vegan Society's Instagram page, so have a look out for that. After the show, give them a follow, and then you'll be able to see when I'm live with them tomorrow evening. So it's a good time for some of you guys who are in the States, and I know that you're getting up really early for this show, so it's a bit more of a reasonable time. And it'd be really nice to do something with the Vegan Society, because the Vegan Society have always been a huge help for me. And so I went vegan 25 years ago. There was no information on the internet. I think there was barely even an internet at that time. And they were a great source of information, you know, recipes and nutrition as well. And I would say if you guys have any questions about nutrition, then make sure that you are getting information from a really good source. So the Vegan Society actually has an on-staff dietitian. So any questions that you have, you can send to them, and you know that you will be getting really, really good information from someone who's qualified as well, because there's loads of information about vegan nutrition on the internet, but it's not necessarily from a great source. So they're a great source of information on nutrition, but also check out Dr. Gemma Newman, who we mentioned on our show the other day, and also I think Nikki, she mentioned Dr. Michael Greger. So Dr. Michael Greger has a wonderful website called Nutrition Facts, and he is just the funniest guy to listen to. So check out his YouTube videos, because you know, if you're someone who doesn't necessarily like to read, you just want to listen, well, that's great, because he is hilarious to listen to. He's got this really crazy accent that almost makes him sound like one of the Muppets. so check him out and you will absolutely see what I mean. Colleen said, can we put a link for the Vegan Society? So Ingrid, who is our lovely admin for today, has just put a link to their Instagram. So there is that. But also check out their website. Check out their website as well. So on their website, they have lots of fact sheets and stuff like that you can download. Okay, now on to today's recipe. So as I mentioned earlier, but some of you were a bit late coming in, so you may not have heard me say this. The reason why I wanted to share this recipe with you guys today is because quite often we know that we should be getting lots of greens in our diet, but we don't necessarily know some interesting or fun ways to do that. We think of kind of like the usual things, you know, like the lovely kale salads that Katie shared with us yesterday. Really, really lovely. Kale is so good for you, so good for you. But this is another way. This is another way. And so when it is quite warm outside, quite often I don't want to cook. You know, I don't want to be like frying anything or, you know, have that heat around me. But my body doesn't really react that well to only having cold food in the summer. I do need to have some warm food as well. So, you know, if your body type is like mine, then this may be a good one for you. But with this green soup, you can have it hot or cold. So I will give you both options. But with a cold soup, quite a few people, like, it's a bit out there for them. So, you know, if that's you, then you might just want to warm it up a bit. Okay, so let's get on to our ingredients. Maria said British soups are great. We are good at soups. We are good at soups. It's one of the things that happens when you have really rubbish weather, is that you get really good at cooking soup and stews, so just to keep you warm. Okay, so I've got you guys turned on to Faulty Towers as well, which is awesome, which is really, really awesome. Manuel was always my favourite. Always my favourite. I always had a thing for the underdog though. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by that, but you know, I think I was probably a little bit in love with them when I was little anyway. Okay, so onto our recipe, and this is really, 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 really simple because we are going to be using our NutriBullet here to blend everything. And so the actual process of it is really fairly simple. But I'll just take you through the ingredients that we're using today. So we have some baby spinach here. Now this soup is a light green soup, and I call it light green because this terminology came in when people started drinking green smoothies. So we had light green smoothies, and we had medium green smoothies, and we had dark green smoothies. And what that meant was that in the light green smoothies we had much more kind of delicate leaves like this that would blend down really, really well, really, really smooth, and they wouldn't be too kind of flavoursome, you know. So spinach, it blends really, really well and goes really, really well with other flavours as well. It's not too dominant, it doesn't have a huge amount of bitterness in it, although there is that kind of like irony tang in there, but we're going to balance that out. So this is what I mean by a light green soup. Okay, so Maria said that she likes tomato best, but also broccoli. Love, oh, that's lovely. Really nice, yeah. Tomato soup, like a gazpacho, is really nice. Broccoli, absolutely great. You know, and you can have that raw as well. The amount of nutrition that's in raw broccoli is phenomenal. It's got loads of calcium in it. Okay, so we can just pop in 1 to 2 handfuls of our spinach. And some of this has seen better days, so I'm just going to make sure that I don't put in the bits that are a bit over. There we go. And so this is a really good way to use up leaves that you don't necessarily want to use in a salad. You know, because these are a bit too sweaty to use in a salad now, which, you know, unfortunately can often happen when they're packed in plastic like this. Okay, so we've got about 1 to 1.5. Yes. Oh, yes. Sorry, Sarah, is it okay to use frozen spinach? Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, frozen spinach I used to use in green smoothies. So I always like a green smoothie to be more on the cold side because I think it tastes better like that. So I would keep a batch of frozen spinach in my freezer and pop that in for my green smoothie, and it would be cold and also have the spinach in at the same time, which works really, really well. Let me just see if I've missed any comments. Jenny said that she doesn't have spinach. Would kale work? Absolutely, absolutely. You just need to make sure that your blender will blend it down really, really well. Abigail, hello bunny girl, thank you for joining us. Gloria, lovely to see you again. Denise, would like to substitute the peas. What would you recommend? So we need something that is similar, so something like edamame beans or broad beans, something like that would be lovely. But I mean, this is like a really, really flexible recipe, but I guess, you know, what you've got to do is you've got to think of like, what is this giving to the recipe? So it isn't just the greenness and it isn't just the taste, but it's also the texture. So this is what is going to be making it thick. So, you know, something like an edamame bean or a broad bean would be perfect for this. Here, thick soup is called Pure and it's given to babies. Oh, nice. Sarah, I use it for smoothies and also it doesn't go to waste as it wilts very easily. Yes. Colleen said, I don't have white miso, but I just got Marmite. Can I use that instead? No, you can't. So me and Colleen have had this conversation before because in one of my recipes, I use Marmite. And there are some countries around the world that don't have Marmite or Vegemite or, you know, this type of like dark yeast extract. And so I suggested to Colleen that she substitutes that with dark miso. So that is, you know, the very kind of brown, almost black miso that's very salty. So that's what we need for recipes that need to taste meaty, whereas white miso is sweet. Well, it has a sweetness to it. So this is the end of the spectrum. So at one end of the spectrum you've got the white miso, which is sweet. At the other end of the spectrum you've got dark miso, which is quite salty. And somewhere in the middle you've got red miso, which is a bit of both. So we need the sweeter tasting miso. So this is the miso that I'm going to be using today. But there's another brand, the Clear Spring brand, which is actually even sweeter than this. But it really depends on what you prefer. Amandine, that donkey tail looks great. Oh, are you talking about this? There you go. I know it's coming on nicely, isn't it? Okay, so we've got our spinach in here, and now we've got 1 cup of peas in here, and these are just frozen peas, which I always keep some of in my freezer because they're a great addition. Last night me and Jeff were having a dal that I had previously made and frozen, and it wasn't enough for the two of us, so we just added like some peas and a bit of water because it was quite thick, and then it was plenty. So always a great thing to have in your freezer. Oh, Amandine said the plant. What is this? Oh no, this one. Is this one called donkey tail? Is that what you're talking about? Because that one looks more like a donkey tail than this one does. Is that what you're talking about? Is that? Let me know. What else could we use instead of miso? Can't have soy. Okay, so basically the miso that's going to be going into this recipe, you don't necessarily have to have it. I just have it because it's a bit of added nutrition, really. But the flavour will still be lovely without it. Okay, so we've got our peas and our spinach in there, and I'm just going to pop in. Okay, Amandine, are you talking about this plant? Say yes or no. because we've been trying to figure out what that plant is for ages. So with the spring onion, I'm just going to take off the ends and just the outer skin. You know, the one that's like really papery and thin. Let's get rid of that. Only because it might not blend down very well. That's all. And it's a little bit sandy. It is a little bit sandy on the outside. Okay. Yes! Okay! Okay, so this is called Donkey Tail. Okay. Because I thought it was like a cute name for like, you know, ponytail. It's like, you know, a baby ponytail is a donkey tail. Can you see where I'm going with that? Oh, Paul, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, if you guys do want to share, then please do share our live as it's going on, and then you can invite your friends. Okay, so we've got our spring onions in there. I said 1 to 2 spring onions, but it's really, you know, this is up to you guys. I don't like loads of raw onion in my food because I can just taste it like the day after. Same with garlic as well, which is why the garlic that we're going to be using in today's recipe is this rather than garlic cloves, but we'll get onto those in a moment. Okay, so now we need to add some parsley to this. You can add, you know, this is really, really flexible, so you can add whatever herbs that you like. Parsley and basil do go really well, and also we're going to be using the stalks. So this is something that I recently got into, is using the stalks in recipes. I made a really lovely omelette the other day, tofu omelette of course, with just finely chopped up parsley stalks, which was really, really, really nice, really lovely. So, you know, we don't have to throw these things away. We can use these stalks in our food, and we'll do the same with the basil as well. So I'm just going to tear these up, pop them into there. And this is a good tip for keeping your herbs fresh. So putting them in some foil and into the fridge like this, and I do reuse this foil, so whenever I wrap them up I'm really, really careful with how I wrap them up. I try not to just like scrunch them around, because what will happen is if you scrunch them around you'll open it up and then you'll end up tearing the foil, and that's really annoying if you want to reuse it. So we'll just pop these out of the way. There we go, we've used those already. Okay, now onto our basil, and as I said, we are going to use the stalks as well. So I've got my scissors here, and that's the easiest way just to chop them off, and then we're going to pop this in the garden and get it to regrow. So whenever I'm getting herbs delivered to me from the supermarket, I am trying to get the pots at the moment rather than just the bags of herbs, but sometimes, you know, they end up giving you substitutions at the moment. We're getting a lot of substitutions at the moment. Okay, so we've got our basil in here. Abigail says, my fiance loves garlic so much but hates onion. Oh, well, it's good that he likes one. Gloria said, you look as though you're in a garden. I do. I've got my lovely nasturtium here, which we'll get onto in a bit. Okay, so we have our parsley and our basil in there. Really lovely fresh summer herbs, but you can mix it up and you can put in other herbs. Like something like tarragon would be lovely in there. Dill, fennel, all would go really, really nicely in this. And then we've got just some lemon juice. You can add the lemon zest if you want as well, but that will have a slight bitterness to it. And I just want to keep this nice and light. So a good dash of lemon juice in there, and it will give a freshness to it and just lift it a bit. And then we've got our white miso. So this brand I really, really like, Thai Food. It has more of a tang than the Clear Spring one does. So about 1 teaspoon in there. Okay. There we go. And now our garlic granules. So as I mentioned earlier, I don't like eating raw onion, raw garlic, because the day after that I can taste it. So I prefer, if it's going to be raw, if it's not going to be cooked out, to put something like garlic granules in it. So we've got smoked garlic granules here, and we also have just regular garlic granules. So with the smoked granules, They're lovely, really, really lovely, but I'm not going to put them into this dish because I want this soup to be nice and light and summery, and smokiness is lovely, really, really lovely, but more for kind of autumn, winter dishes. So we'll put a little bit of garlic granules in here, but I'm only putting a really small amount, probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon in there. There we go. And now what is next? So we will need something to thicken it. Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys. So if you are making a soup that you're not going to reheat, which is absolutely fine, you know, if you want one that's chilled, then consider adding something like cucumber. So this is a ridge cucumber. It has more taste than the regular long cucumbers. You can even take the skin off as well, and that will mean that you'll just get kind of like more liquid. And that would be a great addition, nutrition-wise, to add rather than the water that we're going to add. And you can also add things like these little mini bok choy as well. Any kind of light greens can go in here, so you know you can be really, really flexible with that. So any light greens you can pop into there. Colleen said that she can't eat raw garlic. The bite is too much. Yeah. I used to work for an Italian family and they would have raw garlic all the time. You know, like dressings, salad dressings, just with loads of finely chopped raw garlic in it. That was just a bit too much for me. Esoterica, is that really your name? That's lovely, really lovely. Hello from KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, and thanks for the vegan recipe. Thank you for your time, thank you, and thank you for letting us know where you're from. Sounds awesome. And please let me know, is that your real name? That's amazing. Colleen said, I roast an entire sleeve of garlic in the air fryer, then I pop them out and keep them in a jar in my fridge with a little oil. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Okay, we're just going to pop these over here. Let me get rid of these two. Okay, so we do need something to thicken this, because otherwise it is going to be a little bit too watery and I want a bit more body to it, and I don't want to eat it and then be hungry an hour later. I really don't like it when that happens, because inevitably if that happens I end up reaching for something that is a bit naughty, is a bit more of a treat, you know, if you know what I mean. So I love bok choy, too. So we're going to add a good pinch of salt in here, some water, and then our thickener of choice. So we either have something like chickpeas, and that is the more economical version, or you can add something like pine nuts. So fortunately I have a load of pine nuts left over from the school, but I know they can be quite expensive, you know, so chickpeas is a really good addition, just to kind of like make this a bit thicker and make it last a bit longer in your tummy, basically. So we'll just add a few of these pine nuts in here. There we go. We don't need too many, just enough to thicken it. Give us a good bit of protein, and now we're going to blend this. So let's see how our blender gets on, but we might need to add more water. Oh, hello again. My name's Stephen. Esoterica is my Facebook name. Why? Why is that your Facebook name? Sorry, I'm really nosy. I am really nosy. There we go. Okay. So I am actually, one of the reasons why I'm doing this recipe is because somebody asked me about their NutriBullet. So their NutriBullet they had just used for, you know, banana milkshakes pretty much. So, you know, this is a really good way to use your NutriBullet if you've got one. And, you know, this isn't a NutriBullet, it's a Nutri-Ninja, but, you know, this type of thing. And you can make things like a cashew cream as well really well with this. You can even blend things like flax seeds. So flax seeds are so tough. They are so tough, and they can just go through the human body intact. Nice image there. But they will get ground in one of these. So, you know, if you've got a recipe that calls for ground flaxseed, but all you happen to have is, you know, intact flax seeds, and you can put them in here and they will actually blend down. So this is really, really powerful. You know, that's a demonstration of how powerful it is. So it will make really lovely cashew creams, cashew cheeses, raw hummuses, you know, that type of thing, where usually you would probably need something like a Vitamix blender, which is ridiculously expensive, whereas these are not. So, and this one has a few different settings on it. So it lets me just press blend, or ultra blend, or start and stop, or pulse. And with the blend and ultra blend, what it will do is, well, let me show you. Okay, so what it's doing there is that, you know, it's aware that, or the people that made it are aware that stuff can get stuck up here. So sometimes you do have to pause and you have to wait for this stuff to kind of like drop down and for things to hit the blade. So that's why it's pausing, and it's great, it's very clever, and you know, you can just press down, you can get on with something else that you're doing in the kitchen, and it can do that for you, which is a really, really great function of it. But let me see how we're doing and if it's done. Deborah said, what do you consider a naughty vegan treat? I'm absolutely addicted to 85% Lindt chocolate. So that's probably my go-to naughty vegan treat at the moment. And you know, chocolate, and in particular, dark chocolate, like to my mind, I'm just like, well, I need the energy, you know, and it is really good. Whoa. It's really good at having, like, giving you an energy boost. Really, really good. So I just say that that's why I need it for works purposes. It needs to be much smoother than this. That's one of the great things about peas, and that's one of the reasons why it's good to use them in this recipe, is that peas will blend really, really, really well and become actually quite creamy. Okay, that's it, that is done, and I'm just going to warm it up, because I want to show you guys how long we warm it up for, because it really isn't long at all. Right, okay, there we go. So, yeah, so with this, we have put the white miso in it, which means that we don't want to boil it. Because if we do boil it, then that will get rid of all of those wonderful properties of the white miso that are so, so good for our gut. It is a beautiful, beautiful colour at the moment. So we don't want to lose that either. Because as you guys know, we eat with our eyes. So we're just going to put that on the hob just for a few minutes, just to warm through. And I will talk to you about this lovely thing. Deborah, David, thank you for joining us. I didn't realise you were here. Will flax seeds break down in a regular average blender? Maybe not. Maybe not. They need a really, like a high-speed blender, basically, flax seeds. They are really, really tough, really tough. So you know, you'll put them in like a regular blender and you'll turn the blender on and they'll just go round and round and round and round, usually, and they won't have broken down at all, which is a little bit annoying. So you do need something like a high speed blender, but you know, try out your blender and see how it goes. But usually it doesn't work. So yeah, just to go back to that, the thing is though, you can buy flax seeds already pre-ground, so you know, you might be able to just do that if you're in need of flax seeds. So I'm just continually stirring this because I don't want it to boil. I really just want it to warm up. It's already, you know, a bit warm. Deborah said, me too, I reach for dark chocolate a lot. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Colleen, do you have a name for your new tool yet? Apparently it's called Tefal. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. It's called Tefal every day, which means it's got my name on it. Every day. There you go. It's funny, I do see my name in like the funniest places. Paul said, Mick, no nettles were used in the blender. Sorry, they would be great in this. They would be great. Can you eat nettles raw? Catherine, super machine that you've got there. Yes, it is good. It is good. Actually, one of the viewers purchased it. So Gloria actually bought it for Jeff, my boyfriend. And I have used it so much. So much. Okay, right. So there we go. That is warm enough. Like, we don't want to cook it any more than that. The steam coming off it, happy with that, happy that, you know, it's going to be a nice temperature for me to consume. And it's going to keep my dosha happy. So I don't know if you guys know what that means, your dosha. So it's part of Ayurvedic nutrition, and it means your body type. So my body type definitely responds to wet and warm food, no matter what season it is. So even when it's sunny outside, I do want something that is at least warm. So this is great for me because it's warm, but I haven't spent a long time over a hot stove. You know, it's just like a couple of minutes or something like that. So we're going to add a pinch of black pepper because it looks really beautiful. Really beautiful. And some of this lovely thing. So this is my nasturtium plant. There we go. My lovely nasturtium plant. And I have always said that I am a really bad gardener, that I am better at cooking plants than actually growing them. I do tend to kill them a lot. And then I learned that I could grow things that I could cook with, which was really exciting. So over the last year or so, I've been exploring different types of plants that I can use as herbs, and nasturtium is by far my favourite. I also love lovage. Who doesn't love lovage? But nasturtium is beautiful. So nasturtium, you can actually use all of the plant, absolutely all of the plant. You can use the buds like capers. You can use the stems. I think you can use all of it. You can use the flowers. The flowers are beautiful, really, really beautiful. So let me just see if we've got any comments here. Orange, that's a lovely name. I blend them on dry grinder. Okay. What's a dry grinder? Sue, afraid I reached for hazelnut Vigo. I don't blame you, I don't blame you. Maria, thank you Dave for the idea of doing soup this way. No problem, it is so easy, isn't it? So easy. Vigo is good but a little expensive. It is. And David, you've got the perfect emoticon there. Thank you. So I'm just going to clip a few of these off and pop them onto our soup, because nasturtium looks really, really beautiful when it's pretending to be a lily pad. How cute is that? So nasturtium, the reason why I like it so much is because it is beautiful, but it is also really, really, really tasty. So it's very peppery, similar to watercress. I would say it's very similar to watercress. So, right, there we go. There we go. So we have our lovely little lily pads on there. And that is our soup for today. Abigail said it's harder to keep plants when you have a cat. Funny you should say that. We're having a few issues at the moment because we've got a garden, and so Jeff's been making raised beds. And our cats have been assuming that they are for their own purposes rather than ours. So I'm not going to say any more on that. I think you get my drift, but it's lunchtime, so let's not go there. Sue, I know, but I ordered 6 bars and they turned out to be the giant ones. Cost a fortune, but good. I'm really glad that you're enjoying your Vigo bars. Sonia said, bon appetit. Bon appetit. So, thank you for joining me. As I said, I will be on the Vegan Society Instagram page doing a live recipe tomorrow evening. So we'll be doing a 1-pot chili, really easy. We're also making only affordable recipes. So no pine nuts in those then. So please join us for that over on their Instagram page. And do remember that up until the 10th of this month, we have an offer for you. So we have literally just been making our new online courses, and we are in pre-sale mode at the moment, so you guys can buy them before they actually get released, and we have a code for you somewhere around here, which means that you get 50% off. So please do check that out. That's on our website. And join us tomorrow for Nikki. So Nikki will be making another lovely summer recipe for you guys, and she is a qualified nutritionist, so please come with all your vegan nutrition questions. Now guys, I will come around there and give you one final close-up of our lovely dish today, and also what's underneath our rainbow. So thank you for your company today, and have a lovely day.